There are two sea chests found aboard the USNS Washington Chambers for the seawater cooling system, the high sea chest and the low sea chest. The high sea chest, seen in the image here, sucks water from the waterline of the ship and sits at a higher level, while the low sea chest, as seen here, sucks water from beneath the ship and sits at a lower level. The high sea chest is more often used in port, while the low sea chest is used at sea or in deeper water. These sea chests work to filter out the organic foreign materials such as plants, trash, animals, etc. from the water before it's sent through the rest of the system. Within each of these chests is a large filter or strainer as seen here that accomplishes this task. As they become more and more clogged with debris, it's important that they be cleaned on an as-needed basis. An isolation valve rests between the two sea chests and allows one to run while the other is being serviced so that the system as a whole can continue cooling throughout the engine room. While the Chambers was in port in Yokosuka, Japan, it happened to be jellyfish season. So many jellyfish were in the water that one sea strainer would clog in the time it took to clean the other. This led to overheating of different cooling systems and equipment within the engine room, and therefore led to the entire vessel going dark. For this reason, it's extremely important that the engineers be well versed and confident in cleaning these strainers in an efficient and timely manner. The first step to cleaning the sea strainer is to isolate it in its entirety, including closing the outlet, inlet, and recirculation valves. Next, crack open the air vent at the top of the sea chest to relieve excess pressure. Next, drain the sea chest so that excess water flows down to a bilge pocket beneath the deck plates. After properly draining the sea chest, unscrew the air vent connection and set aside the pieces somewhere that's out of the way. Now, connect the chainfall to the handles on either side of the lid of the sea chest. Loosen and set aside the 12 bolts that hold the lid of the sea chest in place. If it's too tight, this may require the use of an impact gun, as seen here. Once the bolts have been removed and are out of the way, the lid can be slowly and carefully lifted through the use of the chainfall, as seen here. Use another chainfall to carefully lift the strainer basket out of the bowl. If replacing, use the chainfall to set the basket to the side and place a new one in the bowl itself. If it is being cleaned, however, then it can be primarily still placed on the chainfall, as seen here. Additionally, it is important to keep a well-lit workspace in every step of this process. To physically clean the strainer itself, initially use a powerful hose in order to knock most of the debris to the bottom of the strainer, where it can then be scooped out and placed in buckets out of the way. The remaining material can be chipped from the walls of the filter with a scraper and placed within the bucket as well. Once the strainer has been sufficiently cleaned, it can be placed back into the bowl of the sea chest using the chainfall. Before lowering the lid, grease the gasket and inspect it for any damage to ensure that the sea chest will have a proper seal. Then the lid can be lowered. Now, the 12 bolts can be replaced, which may require the use of an impact gun to ensure that they're tight enough. It's good practice that the engineer uses a technique called the star pattern to tighten the bolts. First, screw the bolt in the top right corner, then the bottom left, then the top left and the bottom right, then across and up and down, essentially forming the shape of a star. This safe method should be used when tightening any pieces of equipment in the engine space. Replace the air vent at the top of the sea chest, put it back online by opening the inlet and outlet valves, and clean the sea chest itself by wiping it down with rags. Also clean any of the surrounding area in the engine space of foreign material that the hose could have kicked up during cleaning. Finally, dispose of all of the foreign material from the buckets collected on the deck. So there you have it. Those are the steps for a proper cleaning method for sea strainers on board the USNS Washington Chambers. Thanks for watching.